everybody to our Sunday morning gentle. Now, everybody here in the studio is on their back, so you should go there whenever you're ready. Just lay on your back. Let your eyes close. You can have your knees bent like mine are. If you'd rather extend your legs, you can. Just be comfortable. This opening pose, this centering pose. Give yourself a moment just to arrive. You're going to start to bring that focus to the breath. Start to notice your breath. Become aware of it. Let your breath push all those other distractions to the background. You can be here fully focused on your mat, your practice. You can be fully present to your mat, your practice. Few more breaths right there, just allowing yourself to arrive. You feel like you've got that full focus on your breath, right? Then you're going to add that element of control to your breath. Close your mouth. Start to breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. Allow your breaths to become longer, slower, deeper. As you inhale, you're pulling that breath all the way down to your belly. As you exhale, you're pushing it all the way out. And that way we really can move just one breath. One movement. Now, when you're ready to start moving here, what we're going to do first, I brought a blanket and a block over because we're going to use this later, but not right now. That's more than on my way. All right, we're going to lay down on the back and then just extend your legs all the way long. Right, take your arms overhead. Do a nice little pencil stretch here. That means, you can see me here, you're going to point your toes towards the front of the room. Take the tip of your pencil, reach your fingertips towards the back of the room. Just let everything open up. And then from there, right, you're going to flex your feet. Keep your heels on the ground. Keep your hands, the backs of your hands on the ground. You're just going to open up. Slide your arms, your legs open until you're in like this 5-pointed star laying on the mat. Now from here, you're going to bend your knees, pick them up, bring them into your chest, hug them into your chest, right? Put them all the way, rolling in this little ball. And then open it back up. And as you open back up, go back out to that 5-pointed star. All right, just do that 2 more times. Hug your knees all the way in. Open it up to that star position. Do it 1 more time. Hug your knees all the way in. And take it out to star position. All right, now this time, you're going to slide your hands back to your sides. Bring your feet together again. As we're just laying flat on the mat. All right, keep that left heel on the mat. Point your left toes up to the sky. Take your right knee, hug it into your chest. And then from there, we're just going to take a little twist. You're going to take your left hand, bring it to the outside of your right knee. Let your right arm go along in that T position, and just guide that left knee over to the right side, or that right knee over to the left side of your body. Just take one more breath here. And then pull that knee back in to your chest. Right now, from here, you're going to kick that right leg straight up to the sky. Right, and then wrap your hands somewhere low along your right thigh, below your knee. Right, really flex that foot, pushing that heel up towards the ceiling. You want to really think about your left thigh, right, pressing into the mat. So press that left heel into the mat, press that left thigh into the mat. So the left leg is engaged, even though it's resting on the floor. And then we're going to climb the mountain here. That just means you're going to start to walk your hands up your right leg, hand over hand, right? Let your head and shoulders peel up off the mat. And just walk it as high as you can. Right? And then once you're there, you're going to walk it back down. Hand over hand until you're back where you were. And we're just going to do that a couple more times, right? So we're going to climb up the mountain. Let your head and shoulders lift. Take it back down. Do that one more time. Climb the mountain. And then take it all the way back down. Now this time, as you get back down, bend into your right knee. Hug it back in to your chest. Right. And then let that right leg extend long. Take that left knee, hug it into your chest. So in here, you're going to press that right heel into the floor, press that right thigh bone to the ground. Hug that left knee all the way in. We're going to take our twist here first. You're going to bring your right hand to the outside of your left knee. Let your left arm go out long. And guide that left knee over to the right side of your body. Just take a little twist. Just hold right here. 3 breaths. Take that knee, hug it all the way back in to your chest. Now from here, you're going to take that left leg, kick it up to the sky. Really flex your left foot so the left heel is going towards the ceiling. Keep that left leg nice and straight. Again, you want to engage that right leg. So press that right heel to the mat. Press that right thigh to the mat. Keep your hands around your left leg so we're below your knee, right? And then we climb the mountain. So you start to walk hand over hand. As you walk higher, right, let your head and shoulders lift off the ground. Right, that leg comes a little bit closer to you. And then from there, take it back down. So we're just going to do that twice more. Climb the mountain. Bring it back down. One last time. Climb up the mountain. And then bring it back down. Now from here, take that knee, hug it into your chest. Now, take the right knee, bring that into your chest. So we're going to hold these hugs into the chest. We're just going to rock a little bit, side to side. Giving yourselves a little spinal massage. From there, with your hands to the crease of your knees, we're going to rock it up to seated, and then we're going to bring it around into tabletop. Tabletop's at hands and knees, toes. Right, now if you have a blanket here and your knees are sensitive, right, you're going to take that blanket, drop it down across your mat. Right, so your knees are on the blanket, and you're going to leave it there, right, as we do other stuff, because when we come to our sun salutations in a second, right, there's a point where you're going to drop down to a knee. So you might want the blanket, right, it sounds weird that we're dropping down to a knee in a sun salutation, but you'll see what I mean, right, so, but take the time right now, get that blanket in place if you need it, and then come to tabletop, shoulders over the wrist, hips over the knees. All right, from here, we're just gonna take a couple cat-cows at first to get the body and breath in sync. As you inhale, lift your chin up to the sky, tuck your tailbone under, let your belly drop, cow. Exhale, tuck your chin to your chest, round at your back, hollow out your armpits, cat. Just keep moving here. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. You can be going faster or slower than me as you do this. Faster or slower than anybody is here. I'll use this time just to match your movements to your breath. Now eventually we're going to meet back in neutral tabletop. Once you get here, you're going to tuck your toes under, lift your hips up and back. Come in to your first down dog of the morning. All right, now you can add movement here if you want to. Walking the dog, bending one knee and then the other, pushing that opposite heel down. If that feels good, keep doing it. Maybe you would rather stay still, maybe you'd rather just sway your hips from side to side, whatever feels good. Right? Just taking the time here to check in with the body, see what's going on, what feels good, what doesn't feel good, where you're going to push forward today, where you're going to hold back. Now we're going to come to forward fold, right? So if you're using your blanket, you've got it there underneath your body, it's okay, right? You start to walk forward, step over, bring your feet in front of the blanket for now, right? So you're here, you got your belly to your thighs, crown of the head towards the ground. Bend your knees as much as you need to get your belly to touch your upper thighs. Right, shake your head yes and no. Make sure there's no creases in the back of your neck. Now, from our forward fold here, all you're going to do at first, as you exhale, just walk your hands over outside your right foot. Right, maybe you can wrap them all the way around and back behind your right heel. If you just get them outside your foot, that's okay too. And then bring it back to center. Now as you exhale, go the other way, walk your hands outside your left foot. Come back around to center. Take a half lift here into monkey, just pulling your shoulders even with your hips. Getting the crown of your head towards the front of the room. And then as you exhale, fold back down. Now this time, as we inhale, we're going to take a big reverse swan dive. Bring yourself all the way up to standing. I'm going to step back here, back behind my blanket, just so you can see me, right? But you stay where you are. And then from there, you're going to take a hold of your left wrist with your right hand and to pull it towards the right side of the room. So we're taking this side bend here. Come back up to center. Switch it out. Grab your right wrist. Pull to the left. Come back to center here. As you come back to center here, you can keep that left hand pressing against the right or vice versa, or you can just press your palms together, whatever feels better. But we're going to take a back bend. You're just going to shift your hips forward. Take your chest and your gaze up. And then you're going to inhale, stand tall. Now as you exhale, swan dive back down into forward fold. This time, as you get to forward fold, keep your right foot forward. You're going to take a step back with that left foot coming into runner's lunge, but then you're just going to drop down to your left knee, right? So that's why we got that blanket there. So you can land that left knee on the blanket. And then from there, you're going to shift back into a half pyramid. So you let that right leg straighten, let your right toes slip up off the mat, drape your upper body over your right leg, right? Square for your hips, that means you push that right hip forward, draw that left hip back. Now we're not staying here a long time because it's part of our flow, right? But we're just coming there, feeling that sensation. Later on, we'll go into a full, deeper pyramid. But right now, you're just going to bend back into your right knee and walk it back forward. All right, so you tuck your left toes under, you're gonna come up off your left knee, and then you're just gonna step forward with your left foot. So you're back and forward fold. Take a half lift again. Fold back down. Now as you fold back down, do that same thing on the other side. Keep that left foot forward, step your right foot back behind you, and then drop down to your right knee. So you're in that runner's lunge here. And then shift back, you can walk your hands back, you can keep your hands where they are, but you're straightening out that left leg, letting your left toes slip up off the mat, draping that upper body over the left leg, squaring your hips, draw the left hip forward, push that right hip back. Now walk it back forward here, back into runner's lunge, tuck those right toes under, walk off your right knee, step your right foot forward, come back into your forward fold. All right, so we're gonna do that whole sequence a couple more times. Now that you guys have seen it, we'll move a little faster. We'll move with our breath. So you start out in forward fold, you walk your hands over to the right. Take a little twist. Bring everything everything back to center. Walk your fingertips over to the left. Bring it all back to center. Take a half lift here. Shoulders even with the hips. Fold back down. Swan dive it all the way up. Grab your left wrist to your right hand. Pull to the right. Come back to center. Switch it out. Pull to the left. Come back to center. And then just press it back into a back bend, either palm to palm or pressing one hand against the other. Inhale, come up tall. And exhale. Swan dive it back down to forward fold. Now here you keep that right foot forward. Step your left foot back. And then drop down to your left knee. Shift back into your half pyramid. Come forward. Look up. Tuck those left toes under. Come up off the left knee. Step the left foot forward. From there, take a half lift. Fold back down. Now step your right foot back. Drop down to your right knee. And then shift it back into half pyramid. Come back forward. Tuck your left toes under. Right toes under. Come up off your right knee. Step it up into forward fold. All right, so we're going to do that one more time through that whole sequence, right? So walk your hands over to the right. Come back to center. Walk your hands over to the left. Come back to center. Take a half lift to monkey. Fold back down. Swan dive it all the way up. Grab your left wrist to your right hand. Pull to the right. Come back to center. Switch your hands. Pull to the left. Come back to center. Take a back bend. Inhale, come up tall. Exhale, swan dive it back down into forward fold. Keep your right foot forward. Step your left foot way back behind you. Drop down to your left knee. Shift into your half pyramid. Bring it back forward. Tuck your left toes under. Come up off the left knee. Step the left foot forward to meet the right. Half lift here. Fold back down. Keep the left foot forward. Step the right foot back. Drop down to your right knee. Flatten your right foot. Shift to your half pyramid. Come back forward. Tuck those right toes under. Come up off the right knee. Step your right foot forward to meet your left. Back into your forward fold. Now this time, from our forward folds, we're going to come up into chair, right? So you're going to bend your knees, send your hips back and down. Lift your upper body up, right? Your hands can be reaching forward, your hands can be up to the sky, your hands can be in heart center. I'll move my blanket for now, so you guys can see what I'm doing. Whatever feels good to you. Make sure you can look down, see your toes, wiggle your toes, wait till back in your heels, hips are far enough back that your knees aren't covering your toes. All right, now, from your chair, just sweep your hands back behind you, right? And then bring your palms together so you're interlacing them behind your back. Rope like this, right? So really pull the shoulder blades together, push that chest forward, right? And then from here, you're gonna push through the four corners of your feet. Let yourself come up to standing and then take a back bend here. So your knuckles are going towards the floor, you push your hips forward, chest and gaze up. Inhale, come up tall, and then as you exhale, hinge at the hip, take those hands up and off your low back, bring it all the way down. The crown of your head come towards the mat. Release your hands here, drop them to the mat. Take one more half lift into monkey. And then fold back down. As you fold back down here, you're gonna keep your right foot forward. Take a big step back with your left foot. So we're coming into our runner's lunge here. And as you come into your runner's lunge here, you're gonna drop that left heel to the mat. So your left toes are pointed to the left. And we're gonna pull ourselves up into warrior one. Right, so just peel that upper body up, reach up high, square your hips towards your left knee, or towards your right knee, sorry. So we're here, up. Now, take a slight pivot here. Keep that deep bend in your right knee. Let your hips turn towards the left side of the room and take your arms out long. Just right into warrior two. Still got that deep bend in the left knee. Right, I keep saying left knee. Right knee. It's your right knee. Sending that right knee towards the pinky toe side of the foot. We're going to take it from here to reverse warrior. So you just turn that right palm up to the sky. Scoop up with your right hand. Let your left hand just trail along your left thigh. Or maybe it wraps behind your back. Now we're going to come down here. You're going to cartwheel your hands down. Let them land on either side of your right foot. Right, turn your left toes forward. Now we're going to drop down to our left knee here. Right, so let your left foot flatten. Let your left knee come down. Your left knee should be back behind your left hip. And then we're going to peel up into our kneeling crescent. So you're just peeling that upper body up, reaching up high. Think about pushing that lower body forward as the upper body leans back. Like there's a plank in front of your right knee, and you're pushing into it like you're trying to push your right knee past it, but it's resisting, right? And then your upper body leans back. You feel that big opening in your hip flexors when you do that. All right, now we're going to dive down here. You're just going to bring your left hand to the inside of your right foot and your right hand up to the sky. Okay, so we're going to twisted lunge. Stacking your shoulders, opening your chest, crown of the head towards the mirror. Now you can lift your right knee up, or sorry, your left knee up here if you want to, right? So you come to that full twisted lunge, or you can drop your right hand down first and then come up off of your right knee so that you're in a runner's lunge. But what we're going to do here, right? You're going to push that right leg all the way straight. Take a step forward with your left foot, and then let your left foot land. So you're coming into pyramid. Your left toes, my left toes, right? They're kind of in a diagonal. Your left toes could be facing all the way towards the front of the room, if that's what's comfortable to you. They could be facing all the way towards the left side of the room. But you got to square your hips, drape that upper body over the right leg, right? Keep that right leg nice and straight. So you should feel that sensation going through the right hamstring, right? We did all those half pyramids in our sun salutation. Your body's ready to go here. It's ready to really sink in to this pyramid pose. So let's take 2 more breaths here. Then from here we're going to rise up, peel that upper body up off your right leg. Take your hands up to the sky. Now pivot both sets of toes towards the left edge of your mat. So you're in a 5-pointed star. Maybe your stance is a little bit shorter than it usually is, right? Because we came up, because we started in that pyramid, and that's okay, right? You're just going to lengthen everything out. You're trying to get your fingertips high to the sky. All right, now from here, you're just going to turn your right toes back towards the front of the room, let your hips go towards the front of the room. And then we're going to come all the way down, bend into your right knee, drop your hands on either side of your right foot, turn those left toes towards the front of the room, drop down to your left knee again, right? And then as you drop down to that left knee, you're going to kick that left foot. You're going to kick that left foot a little bit to the left. I'm trying to think of how this goes. Right? Keep your left hand planted. You're going to take your right foot, step it long behind you. So you're just coming into a modified side plank. You're going to keep your left shoulder right over your left wrist. So I'm just stepping back with my right foot, taking that right hand up to the sky. Doing that modified side plank, facing the right side of the room. All right, now from here, pick up your right foot. Now you're going to bring it forward, right? Swinging it all the way forward. And then you're going to start to walk your right toes over towards the left side of your mat. Right? And then let yourself lean over to the right so that your right knee comes down to the mat. Right, bring your hands in front of your right shin. Maybe here you tuck those left toes under and move that left knee a little bit further back. Coming down into pigeon. Right? You can make it a deer if you want to. We're going to go to a deer longer and deeper later. If that's what you want right now, that's where you can be. If you want to stay up on your palms, you can stay up on your palms. If you want to drop it down to your forearms, to your head, to your chest, all those things are options. All right, now wherever you are here, you're going to come back up to your palms. Right? Everybody's going to let that right hip drop to the ground. All right? And then just take your left foot, swing it forward so that the sole of your right foot is against your left inner thigh. Right? I ended up angled towards here because that's the top of my mat right when I'm doing this, but I'm gonna face the camera here so you guys can see me while we do this. Right, so my right knee's out to the side, left knee's long. Just angle yourself towards that left leg. Take your hands up to the sky. Now fold over that left leg. Maybe you ended up grabbing your foot. Probably not, right? Maybe you ended up on your shin, your knee, your thigh. It's all good, right? You just want to feel that sensation in the left hamstring. Take one more breath here. And then peel it back up. Now we're gonna bring our hands in front of that right shin. You're gonna bring yourself around into tabletop. So if you have that blanket there still, maybe that blanket's working under your knees. We're not gonna stay here long, right? We're just using this to transition. We're gonna bring it back to forward fold. So you're gonna tuck your toes under, lift your hips up and back, right? And then bring your feet forward to your hands. So now we're gonna do all those things on the other side. So we're gonna start by coming up into chair. So you're gonna bend your knees, send your hips back and down, reach your arms forward. Maybe your hands are at heart center, maybe they're reaching all the way up to the sky. Right, look down, see your toes, wiggle your toes. Push those hips further back, further down. This is our second time in chair. You can get a little lower. And then when you're ready, wherever your hands are, they're gonna sweep back behind you. And then you're gonna interlace them, pull them together, pull your shoulder blades together, right? Lift your chest, you want your chest open, you're not leaning forward. Chest is up and open. Then you're gonna press through all four corners of both feet, come all the way up to standing. Push your knuckles toward the floor, push your hips forward, take your chest or gaze up to the ceiling. Inhale, stand tall. And then as you exhale, hinge at the hip, take your hands up and off your low back, come all the way down into your forward fold. Once we get down to forward fold, you're gonna release your hands to the mat. Take a half lift to monkey here, just pull the shoulders in with the hips. Let yourself fold back down. This time we fold back down. You're gonna keep your left foot forward, step your right foot way back behind you, come into your runner's lunge here. As we get into runner's lunge, here you got that left knee over left ankle, right leg nice and long. Let that right heel drop to the mat. So your right toes are pointed to the right, and then you're gonna lift up into warrior one. Peel your upper body up off that left thigh. Reach your hands up to the sky. Square your hips towards your left knee, towards the top of your mat. That's our warrior one. Now we pivot it into warrior two. Let your hips turn all the way towards the right edge of your mat. Take your arms long. Look right over the middle finger on your left hand. Keep your shoulders right over your hips. Keep that deep bend in your left knee. Don't lean forward. Don't lean back. Stack your shoulders up with each other. Now turn that left palm up to the sky. Scoop up. Let your right hand come along your right thigh or wrap behind your back. Take it to your reverse warrior. You've got to keep that bend in the left knee in your reverse warrior. So once you're in place where you like to be in your reverse warrior, bend even deeper into that left knee. All right, now from here, we're gonna cartwheel those hands down to either side of your left foot. Turn those right toes forward. Now we drop down to the right knee and flatten out the right foot. So you're in this kneeling runner's lunge. We're gonna bring it up into kneeling crescent, pushing both hands away from the mat. Rising up, reach your hands up high. Right, push that lower body forward. Maybe let that upper body lean back so you reach those fingertips towards the back of the room. That makes you feel like you're gonna fall over. You can skip that part. It gives you a bigger opening if you can. And now we're gonna dive it down to our twisted lunge. So you're gonna bring that right hand to the inside of the left foot, left hand up to the sky. So shoulders are stacked, chest open, crown towards the left side of the room, crown of the head towards the front of the room. Take a breath here in the twist. Now, we're going to bring it all the way into our pyramid. If you want to come up off your right knee while you're still in the twist, you can. Or you can drop your left hand first. But you're coming up off that left knee. And you're going to, or right knee. You're going to straighten out your left leg. And you're going to step that right foot forward enough. You can keep that left leg straight and drop the right heel to the ground. And again, it doesn't matter where your right toes point. If they point out to the side completely, that's fine. If they're pointed toward the front completely, that's fine. If they're somewhere in between, it's fine. But as you come into your full pyramid here, just like when we're in the half pyramid, we need to square off our hips. This time it means you drive that right hip forward. And push your left hip back as your upper body drapes over that left leg. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Then we're going to push our hands away from the mat. Peel your upper body all the way up. Take your hands up to the sky. Rotate full sets of toes towards the right long edge of your mat. So you're in this shortened stance, 5-pointed star. It's okay, right? Lengthen out your spine, reach up high, take this release. All right, and then from there, you're gonna turn your left toes back towards the front of the room, back towards the top of your mat. Bend into your left knee, drop your hands down on either side of your left foot, turn those right toes forward, and drop down to your right knee. All right, now here, right foot kicks out to the right. You're gonna plant that right hand, make sure your right shoulder is right over your right wrist, right? You don't wanna be reaching or leaning, right? And you're gonna take that left foot, step it all the way back behind you. Put that left foot on the ground. So you're gonna move to this modified side plank, facing the left edge of your mat. Now you're gonna lift up that left foot, right? Bring it back towards the top of your mat. Let your right toes go back towards the back of the room. Now you're gonna walk those left toes over towards the right edge of your mat as much as you can, right? And then from there, let yourself lean all the way to the left until your left knee comes down to the ground. Maybe stay here up on your palms. Maybe this is it for you, right? Maybe move that right knee a little bit back. Maybe you come down to your forearms, to your head, to your chest. You don't want that left hip hitting the ground right now. It should be lifted. You're pushing that right hip down towards the ground, creating a little more space so you feel that sensation in your left hip. Let's take a couple breaths right here. One more breath. And then come back up to your palms, if you're not already, right? Everybody's gonna let that left hip drop to the ground now, right? And then you're gonna take that right leg, swing it around, bring it against the sole of the left foot. Right, so in this half butterfly position, once you're here, right, you're just gonna square yourself towards that right leg, take your hands up to the sky, fold over that right leg. Again, maybe you grab your foot. I can do that on the right side. I can grab my foot. I can do it on the left side, right? Maybe your hands are just on your ankle, your shin, your knee. It's all good. Keep your back nice and flat. Just try to bring it as far forward as you can over that right leg. Let yourself feel that sensation in the right hamstring. All right, now slowly walk it up here. Let's bring everything back around into tabletop, right? So you can lean over to the left, swing that right leg back, come around so you're in your tabletop. And then we're gonna come forward, we're gonna bring it one more time, we're gonna transition it into down dog and then forward fold. So tuck your toes under, lift your hips up and back, come through your down dog, walk it forward into your forward fold. All right, this time, as we get to forward fold, we're going to toe with our feet out wide to the edges of the mat, turn your heels in and your toes out, and then bend into your knees and drop your hips. You're coming down into your Malasana squat. All right, so Malasana squat looks like this, right, if I'm in a regular Malasana. Now, if you want to, if you have a block, right, you can put that block underneath your hips, sit down on the block, and it makes it a little better. Or if it doesn't feel good with or without a block, right, or you don't have a block, you drop it all the way down to bound ankle, right? So you decide. Find somewhere where you're comfortable, let your eyes close, take these few moments to reconnect with your breath. Make sure you still have that full focus on your breath. Make sure you still have full control of your breath. If you don't, you've got this chance to reassert that. Lengthen your breaths again, slow your breaths again, deepen your breaths again. 2 more breaths here. And eventually, we're all going to come back down to our glutes, right? And then one more time, we're going to come around into tabletop. Now, you can have your blanket if you need it, right? We're going to come into a plank for part of our core work. If you usually like to do plank on your knees, then yes, you definitely want your blanket there, right? If you don't do plank on your knees and you think you can do it without a blanket, right, then you don't really need the blanket. So it's up to you. But here's what we're going to do, right? You're in tabletop right now. You're going to drop down to your forearms, right? So let your shoulders come right over your elbows. Hips are high, hips are over the knees. So it looks like this right now, right? Now here's where we're going to take it into plank. Now, if you want to take it into a modified plank, you're just going to move your elbows forward until your hips drop. It looks like this, right? If you want to take it into a full plank, right, then you just tuck your toes under and walk your legs back. So you're here. I'm going to come sideways here so you all can see. Right. So I'm here on my tabletop, right? To do my modified plank, elbows come forward, hips drop, and then I'm here, right? If I want to do my full plank, toes tuck, I lift up, and I'm here. All right, now, from here, you're going to if you're up in a full plank, right, with your toes on the ground, let your heels drop to the left. And you're going to keep your shoulders square. Now, if you're down on your knees, right, you're going to lift your feet and let your feet sweep to the left. Keep your shoulders square, right? Your shoulders stay right over your elbows. So you're kind of twisting your torso open to the right. So this is me on my knees. This is me on my toes. Hold here. 3 more breaths. Okay. And then we're going to come back up. Now you can hold, right? You can hold a tabletop, forearm tabletop, right? And then just bump your hips. In this case, it'd be to the right. So you could just come here if all of it is too hard for you, right? On your toes or on in a modified plank. But we're going to go the other way, right? So that's your first option. Well, after that, right? Stay in your forearm tabletop. Push your hips to the right. You can be in a modified plank. Push your feet to the right. Or you can be in a full plank. Drop your heels to the right. So you choose which version, right? This is me, full plank. This is me, modified plank, right? This is me, tabletop plank. Wherever you are, take 3 more breaths. Here. One more breath. Right now, you're going to come back around to your forearm plank or forearm tabletop or modified forearm plank. Everybody's going to drop all the way down to the belly. Right, and then once you're on your belly, let your forehead come to the mat. Take one ear or the other to the mat. Sweep your hands back behind you. Palms face up. I just want you to lay there for a breath or 2. Right now, from here, we're going to come either into bow or to locust, right? If that's better for you. In bow, you bend into your knees, bring your feet towards your glutes, lift your head and shoulders up, grab onto your same ankle with your same hand. Right? Bow. So you can be in bow or keep your feet down. Keep your hands sweeping back, right? Just lift into a locust. Whatever's better for you. Just take 3 breaths here. And when you're ready here, if you've got your ankles, release them. Right, let your hands come back down to the mat. Take whichever area you didn't have on the mat before, down to the floor. So you're here. Just resting. Sometimes when we do a powerful back bend like bow. Feel that yoga flush, that blood rushing through your neck. If you're feeling that right now, it's normal. Just lay here till it passes. Lift up your ear, turn it to the original side here, and just take a couple breaths. Make sure we totally flushed out the body. And now from here, you're gonna pull your hands to your chest, lift up your chin, push yourself back into tabletop. All right, so this time, as we come to tabletop, right, we're all gonna bring it into deer, right? So you're gonna drag that right knee forward to your right wrist, walk those right toes across the mat, and then drop down to your right hip, bend into your left knee. You're gonna bring that left knee to the sole of the right foot. So you look like this, right? It's our deer position. I'm trying to angle myself towards the front of the room. Now you're gonna bring your hands in front of your right shin, right? So your hands are in between your right ankle and your right knee. From there, just walk it forward. You wanna keep your hands in front of your shin. You don't wanna have your hands on either side of your right knee, right? Or on either side of your left knee. You're just walking straight over the right shin. So here's a good place. You can use your blanket or your block or a towel, right? Let your head or your elbows or your hands rest. Get a little deeper. Right, all sorts of good options here to make it feel good. You can stay on your palms, and you could just be right here. Four more breaths. When you're ready, everybody's gonna come back up to their palms, right? I'm gonna angle myself slightly differently just because I want to stay on the camera. You guys stay right where you are. Right, but here's what we're gonna do here. All right, you're gonna bring your hands to the outside of your right thigh, right? So we're twisting to the right. Now what I want you to think about here, right? As you start to come down, we do this twisted deer all the time, so most of you take my classes, you've done this a million times, right? But I want you to really think about your left arm. Slide your left arm as far over towards the right as you can, right? And then allow that right arm to join it. So you're in this deep, deep twist. And then maybe you just drop down to your elbows here. Maybe you can slide out so far that you can get down to your chest and your head. This is where it's a great place to use your block or use your blanket, right? Because you've got somewhere to land your head. Really think about the twist here, right? Like you're trying to get your hands past your right hip even. That probably didn't happen. Definitely didn't happen for me, right? Reaching, reaching, reaching with that left hand. Two more breaths. Then we're slowly gonna walk it up. All right, so now you're here in your deer pose. We're just gonna switch to the other side. Now you can come back through tabletop like we did before, if that's what you want, right? Or if you can do it, right, just lean a little bit over to the right, kick that left foot around, right? Unwind your right leg. You can just bring that left foot across to the right edge of the mat, lean to the left so that knee's all the way down, and then pull that right leg back around into your deer position, right? That's just an option if you want to get into it like we did from tabletop. Again, you can do that too. But if you've got that left shin across the top of your mat, it doesn't have to be perfectly across, right? It's probably somewhere down towards the back of your mat, the foot, and that's okay, right? But you're bringing your hands somewhere in between your left knee and your left ankle, and then you're just walking it forward here. Again, good place to use your block, use your blanket if you need somewhere to land. Pull my blanket up so that I can get my elbows to come down. Some people can hang out here, right? You want to get it to where you have your head all the way down. You can do that. You can stay up on your palms if you need to. Looking for that sensation here in the hips, mainly in the left hip on this side. One more breath. And you're slowly going to walk it back up. All right, now so walk back up here. Now we're going to bring it to the outside of the left thigh, right? So you're sweeping your hands around so they're in between your left knee and your left hip. Yeah, I'm just going to angle myself differently so I'm on camera here. You guys stay where you are, right? But then as you come down, right? So really think about that right hand sweeping across as much as it can. Right, you drop down to the elbow, maybe you stay up on the palm, bring that left hand to join it. Just get deep, deep into that twist. I was saying yesterday how I feel like you can't see anything down once I'm down on the floor. My dark pants, my dark mat, dark shirt. But this is my left leg, right? And I'm sweeping my right arm towards the back of my left hip, which is here. Take 4 more breaths here. When you're ready, come back up to your palms, and then we're slowly going to bring it all the way back around. Now, as you unwind your legs here, right, you're going to end up in a hook line position with your toes at the top of the mat and your knees up to the sky. Take your arms out long, tuck your chin to your chest, and now let yourself round all the way down so you're laying on your back. Once we're on our back, before we go into our inversions, right, just do one more pencil stretch. That's the one we did at the beginning, right, where you take your feet out long, point your toes like they're the tip of a pencil, and then reach your arms up overhead so your fingertips are reaching towards the back of the room, right? Let your whole body open up like that here. And then this time, as we come out of this, you're going to bend into your knees, place your feet back on the ground, let your hands sweep around as they drop at your sides, palms face down. Here we're going to go into our inversions. So we're going to start with bridge. Walk your heels as close to your glutes as you can possibly get them. Right? Your palms are at your sides, palms face down. You're going to push into all 4 corners of your feet and lift your hips up off the mat. You can always use a block and slide a block underneath your hips if you want to make this a supported bridge. That's an option, right? Or you stand supported. Tuck your shoulders at least slightly so your chest puffs open. If you're in full unsupported bridge and you want to work one entire shoulder than the other underneath your body, and clasp your hands underneath your body, you can. Right? Pushes your hips even higher. It's just an option. You don't have to. And we're trying to get our hips as high as we can so we can increase the flexibility of the back. If you're using the strength in your legs to do that when you're in unsupported bridge, you're using the leverage of the block to do that when you're in supported bridge. Just a few more breaths here. And then we're going to from here, you're gonna you can either take that block out from under your hips if you're in supported bridge, or you can put a block underneath your hips if you weren't in supported bridge, or you can keep your hips flat on the ground for this. We're gonna come into waterfall or supported waterfall. So you take your feet up to the sky, flex them like you're gonna step on the ceiling. So I'm in a supported waterfall right now because I have that block under my hips. Just makes it slightly more intense and supported, right? Because you've elevated your hips slightly. If you don't like it, right, then you've just got your feet flat, or your hips, I should say, flat on the ground. That's fine too. All getting that great inversion benefit, blood going from the feet where it pools all day back to the head and the heart where we need it more. If you really feel like you need more in this pose, you can come into shoulder stand. That's where you lift your hips on your own. Put your hands in the small of your back. So you're supporting yourself on your shoulders and your forearms. Okay, so you can be in shoulder stand, you can be in waterfall, you can be in supported waterfall. Listen to your body, let it tell you where it needs to be. In addition to that increased circulation I talked about, we're also naturally lowering our blood pressure. We're flooding the body with anti-aging, anti-stress hormones. We're resetting our circadian rhythm, our sleep cycle. When we're ready to come out of this, we're all going to come out of it the same way. Whatever version you're in, bend your knees, let them scrape along your face and body. Slowly drop your feet back down to the mat. So come back into our forward fold. Right now this time, or into our forward fold, into our constructive rest. This time, from constructive rest, we're going to come into happy baby. Your feet are going to go up to the sky again. This time they might not come right above your hips. That's okay. You're trying to keep that sacrum, the low part of your back, down on the mat. You want to make sure that you're not using the block anymore, right? Everybody's hips are flat on the ground, so you can really feel that sacrum. Separate your feet, maybe slightly, maybe a lot. Bend your knees, maybe slightly or maybe a lot. All of that is up to you. Reach up for your same foot with your same hand. If you don't grab your foot, then you just grab your ankle, your shin, your knee, your thigh, right? Wherever you make that connection, it's good. We're making sure that that sacrum's pressing into the mat. And then we rock from side to side here. Giving ourselves a little spinal massage. Should feel good as you do it. If the rock doesn't feel good, don't do the rock. If the leg position doesn't feel good, don't keep the leg position. You can change it, right? Take your legs wider, straighter, bend them more, bring them in more. Just find somewhere where it feels really amazing to you. Give yourselves 2 or 3 more breaths here. Now from here, you're going to take your knees, hug them all the way in to your chest. As you hug your knees into your chest, now let your arms go out long, like wings in that T position. Drop both knees over to the right. Take your chin and your gaze to the left. If you want to make this more, take that right hand, press your knees closer to the earth, or extend your legs toward your right fingertips. Next, inhale, bring your knees back to center. And as you exhale, drop them over to the left. So now, taking your chin, your gaze over your right shoulder, maybe taking that left hand, pressing those knees closer to the mat, or extending your legs toward your left fingertips, or maybe just stay where you are. Again, you're keeping that right shoulder anchored. We always finish off this twist just to seal off the practice. We want everything to be easier next time we come practice. We want ourselves to be able to go deeper into the practice. All right, on your next inhale here, bring the knees back to center. Give them one final hug into your chest. And let's set up for that final pose, our Shavasana. So you can take your Shavasana however you would like, right? The traditional Shavasana, you're flat on your back with your legs extended, right? But if that's not what makes you comfortable, then don't be there, right? Bend your knees and fall in against each other. Maybe butterfly your legs, soles of the feet together. Or you can roll to your belly, roll to your side, sit up. Just find somewhere to be where you're perfectly comfortable, where you're going to be able to stay perfectly still, and most importantly, where your mind is going to be able to go perfectly quiet. Those of you in the studio, I'm going to come around. A little spray for your towel. Some sea salt spray. Stay. Grab your towel. If you've got a towel at home, put it over your eyes. If not, just close your eyes. Thank you. And let yourself just settle in. Let that quiet come to the mind. If it's a struggle to get there, remember, your breath is always the best way to get there. You release control of your breath here, letting it do what it wants to do. You keep your full focus on it. Keep noticing it. Keep observing it. Right? And that way, you allow your breath to begin guiding you. And your breath can take you right to a place where there's nothing left in your mind but you and your breath. When you get there, right, that's always your true quiet of the mind. Now slowly start to come back into the room. Wiggle your fingers, your toes, feeling that increased sensation that comes with the quiet mind. If you want to here, take your arms overhead, do a nice full, deep body stretch. And then from there, just roll over onto your right side in a fetal position. Take a couple breaths right there just to reacclimate to our space. The sights, the sounds of the room come back to you. Take as long as you need right there. Then when you're ready, only when you're ready, push yourself up to seated, and we will close here. So let's close with our two Bhamari breaths and then an Om. And the Bhamari breath, we inhale as we exhale, make that humming sound in the back of the throat. Then the Om is the universal syllable, uses all parts of the throat. You can join me in these breaths or you can just listen. But let's close our eyes here. We'll inhale together. Inhaling again. And then we'll inhale one final time and Om. Let your eyes drift open. Bring your hands to heart center. Thank you, all of you, for sharing your energy, your practice with me this morning. The light in me honors the light in each of you. Namaste. All right. I will be back on Wednesday night for some yin, so come join me for that. Next week on Sunday, we don't have class because it's Easter Sunday, but I'll be here that Saturday for Slow Flow, so if you need a class next weekend, come join me Saturday. Les will be here tomorrow morning for some Payo, and Heidi will be here tomorrow night if you need more gentle, all right? See you guys all next week.